Amy, a young girl in her 20s, has a life experience that is different from her peers. Just a few years ago, she was a carefree and happy first-year college student. She didn't have to worry about paying bills or how to raise money for groceries for herself and her siblings. However, everything changes for her as one day she finds herself forced to mature ahead of her time. On that fateful day, her parents make a sudden decision to pack up and leave for Florida, expressing their exhaustion with the responsibilities of parenting their 3 children. This decision comes despite their son recently undergoing brain surgery, which resulted in some complications. With her parents relinquishing their parental duties, Amy is thrust into the role of providing stability for her younger brother and sister. Amidst this challenging task, she must also confront her struggles and battle her inner demons. For her to be a stable parent figure, she has to be seen as somewhat responsible, dependable, and independent. Amy's journey involves not only navigating the complexities of life at a young age, but also shouldering the weight of responsibility while trying to preserve her well-being. In moments of stress, she seeks solace at the bar, an all too frequent occurrence for her. There, she buys a drink and patiently awaits the advances of men, often leading to casual sexual encounters. Just like any other day, she sits at the bar, delicately sipping her drink. A young man, Sam, also immersed in his drink, catches sight of her and musters the courage to initiate a conversation. He inquires about nearby motels, seeking her advice. In response, she offers a gentle smile, places her drink aside, and admits her lack of knowledge of any nearby motels. Intrigued by his presence, she further probes, asking if he is merely passing through, and asking about his intended destination. Nonchalantly, he shrugs, confessing he has no idea of his next destination. She extends him an invitation to her apartment. They both go there, and while they attempt to engage in sexual activity, he stops and asks her not to do this with random men, as it's not healthy and dangerous. A knock at the door interrupts them. Sam, surprised there's someone in the house with them, asks her about her living arrangements, inquiring whether she has a roommate or a child. She clarifies that she doesn't have a roommate, but resides with her siblings. Just then, her younger brother Nate knocks on the door, expressing his difficulty in falling asleep. She tells him to give her a moment, and quickly explains that since her brother's brain surgery, he has been grappling with falling asleep. Amy turns to Sam, informing him that he is welcome to leave if he wishes, but Sam insists on staying. Amy goes into her brother's room and takes a seat by his side. Nate confides in her, sharing his belief that he is being subjected to some sort of government experiment that's messing up his head. Plus, he has been hearing their mother's voice scolding him. Amy consoles him, embracing him tightly and assuring him that it's merely a bad dream. She gently cuddles him until he drifts off into sleep. Returning to the room, she finds Sam still around, but now fully dressed. He inquires about Nate's well-being, and Amy tells him that he is doing better. She opens up about Nate's brain surgery and tumor removal, revealing that some nerves were damaged in the process. She tells him of her responsibility of caring for Nate and her younger sister. Sam empathizes with her situation and discloses his own heartbreaking experience of losing his brother in a car accident a year ago. In the morning, Sam leaves, while Amy goes to the kitchen to make breakfast. There, she sees her younger sister, Lucy, and asks her what time she came back, because she didn't hear her come in. Lucy reveals that she didn't come home last night, causing Amy to gently reprimand her. While Amy is still speaking, Lucy takes out a rolled-up marijuana joint, lights it, and starts smoking. Amy tells her it's too early for that. Curious about their brother's whereabouts, Lucy asks Amy where he is. Amy explains that he went grocery shopping, and reveals that she wrote down Nate's new daily routine, which includes shopping and other activities for the day to keep him occupied. Sam, who has been unemployed for a while, spends his days living in his old truck or cheap motels. As he awakens from a restless sleep, he realizes that he has parked his car in the wrong location. Stepping out of his vehicle, his eyes fall upon a dreaded sight, a parking ticket neatly affixed to his windshield. To himself, frustrated by the recurring expense. He knows that constantly receiving tickets for inappropriate parking is not a viable long-term solution. At that moment, an idea strikes him like a lightning bolt. Recalling the passionate encounter from the previous night, Sam remembers the girl he was with. He knows she has an apartment with her siblings, and a spark of hope ignites within him. Perhaps he can offer an idea to her that could potentially change his circumstances for the better. Determined, he sets off in his car, driving towards her house. Each passing mile fills him with anticipation and nervousness. Arriving at her doorstep, Sam musters the courage to knock firmly. The door swings open, revealing Amy, who is taken aback by his unexpected presence. Inquisitively, she asks him why he's there. Trying to ignore the uncertainty creeping into his mind, Sam steps inside, and is met with the curious gazes of Amy's siblings, Lucy and Nate. Their stares make him feel momentarily lost, as if he has stumbled into uncharted territory. However, he gathers his thoughts and quickly explains the purpose of his visit before doubts overpower him. Amy considers Sam's offer to stay on their couch in the sitting room for a small rent, realizing the extra money would be helpful. Glancing at her skeptical siblings, she notices Nate's disapproval. He argues that it's not a good idea, since he has his television in the sitting room. Undeterred, Amy assures him that he can easily move his television to the kitchen. Although Nate and Lucy strongly oppose the proposition, Amy remains resolute. Sam is staying. With relief, Sam settles into his newfound stability, grateful for a place to rest his head. Desperately needing a shower, he takes advantage of the bathroom facilities and is pleasantly surprised by the presence of a bathtub. As he immerses himself in the soothing water, he savors the feeling of a long-overdue proper bath. Suddenly, a knock interrupts his peaceful moment, and Amy pops her neck inside the toilet, extending an invitation for dinner. Sam's heart leaps with joy at the prospect of enjoying a delicious homemade meal. Expressing his gratitude, he happily accepts the offer, and even offers his truck for Amy to go shopping. That evening, Sam shares his first meal with the family, thoroughly relishing the experience. However, he can't help but notice Nate's disdainful gaze, sensing his strong desire to see him gone. Later that night, as Sam tries to find comfort on the couch, he hears footsteps approaching, at first thinking it's Lucy. He looks up and sees Amy standing there. Curious, he asks why she's awake. Amy responds by inviting him to her bed, telling him that it might be more comfortable for him to sleep there instead. Sam, catching on to her intention, hesitates, and then says that he has been thinking of not being intimate with her anymore. In an attempt to explain himself, he suggests that being intimate could cause things to be uncomfortable. Instantly regretting his choice of words, he quickly apologizes as Amy leaves the room feeling hurt. The next morning, Sam awakens to the sound of a TV playing in the kitchen. Curious, he makes his way there and finds Nate engrossed in a wrestling match. Wanting to establish a friendly rapport, Sam grabs a bottle of beer and offers one to Nate, hoping to share a casual drink. However, Nate declines, revealing that he doesn't drink alcohol. Sam casually brushes it off, expressing that it doesn't bother him. Unfortunately, Nate takes offense, stating that nobody cares about them, which is why he's often the target of bullying at school. Feeling at a loss for words, Sam empathetically admits that he, too, disliked his own high school experience. Earlier today, they received a call from the grocery store informing them that Amy's sister has been apprehended for shoplifting. Lucy is increasingly becoming more daring and hard to deal with since she began smoking marijuana. Sam swiftly drives himself, Amy, and Nate to the shop to pick Lucy up. Amy is filled with guilt and a feeling of defeat, blaming herself for failing in her duties to her younger siblings, and Nate tries to cheer her up. They tell her not to beat herself up, she's doing a good job. Sam has been staying at Amy's house for a few days. This evening, he knocks on her door and she opens it, surprised to see him. He tells her how much he likes Nate, and she responds by saying she's glad to hear it. Their conversation quickly turns intimate, and they begin to kiss. After, they both lay in bed. Sam, eager to delve deeper into Amy's life, asks her about her parents. Curious about what her brother told him about driving his parents crazy, he wonders if he truly drove them crazy, as he earlier confessed. Amy denies that, and explains Nate says the things in his head which are not necessarily the truth. Her parents left for a vacation in Florida. Then they eventually sent a message, confessing that they couldn't handle the responsibilities of parenthood any longer. Sam empathizes with her. He opens up about his struggle to find closure and forgive himself for his brother's passing, knowing he was driving drunk that day. Sam is growing closer to Amy, despite noticing her siblings' lack of acceptance. Determined to win their approval, he goes above and beyond to help around the house, whether it's fixing things, assisting with weeding, or handling general household maintenance. This morning, after finishing the task of clearing the garbage, Sam enters the house only to be greeted by Amy, who kindly offers him a cup of coffee. Amy, who is sitting with Nate, admires Sam's clean appearance and remarks on it. Feeling optimistic about his future, Sam shares with Amy his plans to find employment soon and start earning some money. Nate chimes in, expressing his relief and emphasizing the importance of Sam becoming self-sufficient. Sam agrees, acknowledging that his current stay is temporary, and he intends to move on soon. Seeking a change of environment and hoping to clear his mind, Sam extends an invitation to Amy to join him on a road trip. However, Amy declines the offer, explaining that she can't leave her siblings alone in the house, prioritizing her responsibilities. Lucy finds herself grappling with a strained friendship. The only friend she has been warned by her parents to dissociate from her. Their friendship is further jeopardized when Lucy gets caught stealing. In response, her friend's parents prohibit her from maintaining contact with Lucy, warning her of potential consequences, such as having her computer confiscated and being grounded. Lucy's friend advises her to keep her distance for the time being. In a bid to be able to pay his part of the rent, Sam sets out to seek employment. He goes to a construction company that offers him employment for $9 an hour. Hearing this angers him, as he feels the company wants to use him as a slave. Feeling frustrated and angry, he goes to a bar to drink and unwind. At the bar, there are other members of the community also drinking. Sam quickly orders a beer and becomes drunk. He begins to talk about moving on, and how life is greatly transient. The other men at the bar haven't seen him before, and know he must be a passerby. In his drunken state, he begins to tell them all how he met a very beautiful girl with a large heart at this bar. The men are keen to know who it is. As soon as he mentions the name Amy, they begin to laugh and sneer. They ask if it's Amy Bear, who often comes to the bar and goes back home with a random guy routinely. There's another round of laughter amongst the men. Then one of them whispers to his ears that sluts usually have a large heart. In a fit of anger, Sam lands a blow to the man's jaw and staggers outside. While trying to open his car door, one of the men quickly catches up with him and hits his head against his car door. He sustains injuries on his mouth and forehead. Nate wrestles with his inability to fully trust Sam's authenticity. There's an intangible quality about Sam that eludes Nate's understanding. However, Nate observes that his sister Amy genuinely adores Sam and spends a significant amount of time with him. Given that Amy is the primary parental figure in their lives, Nate and Lucy can't afford to lose her. Fearing the worst, Nate concocts a plan to expose Sam. He confides in Lucy, revealing that Sam supposedly wants to separate them from their sister. Nate cites Sam's recent invitation to Amy for an impromptu road trip as evidence of his intentions. Though Lucy remains silent, Nate senses her belief in his words. Desperate to uncover the truth, Lucy seeks guidance from Nate on how to expose Sam. Nate advises her to think of a strategy that may even involve seducing Sam. Before long, Sam returns with a bruised face and a profound sense of humiliation. Shocked to see his bloodied face, Amy questions him. In response, Sam asks if her last name is Bear, which she confirms. At that moment, everything falls into place for Sam. The rumors about Amy's promiscuity prove to be true, leaving him utterly devastated by the revelation. The next day at noon, Sam drives his old truck to pick up Lucy from school. On their way back, Lucy takes out her bag and opens a medication cup, popping a tablet into her mouth. Observing her, Sam asks what she's taking. She replies that it's curious. Sam asks her how she feels when she takes it. Lucy enthusiastically responds that it makes her feel great. She also mentions a classmate named Creature who's throwing a party and invites Sam. He remains silent, contemplating the invitation. Then, Sam expresses his interest in acquiring the himself. Lucy informs him that it would require money. Sam attempts to negotiate the cost, proposing a deal. In exchange for the he suggests that Lucy bring him along to the party. They soon arrive home, and Sam takes the opportunity to advise Lucy against the drugs. Upon entering the house, they find Amy cooking dinner. Lucy then hands Sam a tablet. Amy reprimands her for using it, leading to Lucy becoming angry at Sam for involving himself. She calls him a snake and storms off. Amy and Sam chase after Lucy, eventually catching up to her. Lucy informs them that she's bruised. She lifts her shirt to expose her bruised skin, causing Amy to become alarmed and stress the need to see a doctor. As Lucy departs for the party, Nate enters the room. He has been hanging out with the newly born-again owner of the grocery store, who is now fervently spreading the gospel. Nate himself has embraced this newfound faith. Nate approaches Amy and demands a carrot. Sam volunteers to retrieve one for him. Sensing Nate's distrust, Sam mischievously decides to provoke him by kissing Amy, much to Nate's annoyance. Shortly after, Sam publicly reveals the true reason behind his recent facial bruises. It wasn't due to the construction work, but rather stemmed from rumors circulating at the bar, suggesting Amy's promiscuity. Sam smiles and boldly states that such rumors don't faze him anymore, as they can see his indifference. Amy feels deeply offended, and this makes Nate rise and challenge Sam. Nate asserts that it is not Sam's place to pass judgment, emphasizing the imminent return of Jesus, and Amy is assured her place in paradise. Later, Amy is in her room when she hears a knock at the door. Opening it, she finds Sam standing there. He confesses his foolishness and sincerely apologizes for his behavior. Amy opens up to Sam about her struggles. She tells Sam that she was in year 1 of a scholarship when her life changed. She was a very bright student until she received the news that her parents left, forcing her to come back and take on the role of a parent. Life isn't easy for her, and she felt confused. As young as she was, she had to be there for her siblings. In response, Sam reassures her that none of those things matter to him. He reminds her that they met at the bar, and she was kind enough to offer him accommodation. However, Amy insists that this is not true, and claims that she only picked him up because she considers herself promiscuous. Doubting Sam's honesty, she states that she doesn't know him well enough, and that he might be lying about being from Cleveland, as he previously told her. Sam stands his ground and insists that he has been truthful, sharing that he drove to Mexico when his younger brother passed away. Amy wakes up the next morning to find Sam missing. He spent the night in her bed, but she couldn't remember when he slipped away. Anxious thoughts flood her mind as she searches the sitting room and outside. Fear grips her. She's anxious about the pattern of people leaving her, as this has haunted her past relationships. Seeking answers, she turns to Lucy and Nate, but they too are clueless about Sam's whereabouts. The vulnerability she displayed when sharing her life's challenges with him now fills her with apprehension, as she wonders if it drove him away. In an attempt to clear her racing thoughts, Amy embarks on a walk to the grocery store. At the aisles, she unexpectedly encounters a familiar face, a classmate from her college days, Carrie. Amy is surprised to see her. It's been a long time since they last met. Carrie proudly tells Amy that she is currently pursuing her master's degree in education, and asks Amy what she has been up to, recalling that she is known for her creativity. Amy feels uneasy with this question, as it serves as a reminder of all she has given up. She tells Carrie that she isn't doing anything, and her response carries a sense of pain. Carrie then proceeds to inquire about Amy's family. Overwhelmed, Amy finds it too much to handle, and simply tells Carrie that it's nice to see her, before walking away toward the cashier. While organizing her items, Amy realizes that she is a few dollars short of the total cost. The owner of the grocery store reassures her not to worry, and tells her that she can pay at any time. It turns out that he is the person Nate has been spending time with, teaching him about the gospel. Amy arrives to find both Lucy and Nate waiting for her. Curiously, she inquires whether Sam is home, but their response is disheartening. He hasn't come back. Nate takes the opportunity to express his belief that Amy can do better, emphasizing that Sam is not the right person for her. Overwhelmed by a flood of emotions, Amy agrees with Nate, saying that she might as well find a rich man instead. She was thrilled when Sam invited her on a road trip, and eagerly looked forward to it. But now he seems to have disappeared completely. Trying to compose herself, Amy heads to the restroom to cry. Amy wakes up to find that she has dozed off on the toilet, her face swollen from crying. She goes to the sitting room and sees Sam trying to make pancakes for breakfast, while Lucy and Nate stare at her like something is amiss. She is surprised to see him, and asks if he has been home all night. He says he came a little after dinner. She asks them where he has been, and they all just stare at her with no response. Sam reveals to her that he took the construction job for $9 an hour, and helped them in constructing a roof. She asks Sam where his stuff is, and he says he cleaned it. She sees him making a mess of the batter and tells him to leave, offering to take over breakfast making. She is clumsy and keeps dropping the cooking utensils. She is mad that they were all there while she spent the night on the toilet. Amy can't take it anymore. She needs to go somewhere to clear her head. Sam stops her and reveals he has a gift for her, but she tells him to shove it up his ass. Sam tries to explain the gift, but she screams at him to shut up. Nate stands up and tells her about his earlier reservations regarding Sam, and his suggestion to send him away. Amy doesn't listen to Nate. She turns to Sam, screaming and questioning if she isn't good enough for him, calling him a coward for leaving. Sam screams back at her, insisting that she also shut up and listen to him. He tells her he wants to take her somewhere special tonight, just the two of them. This makes her calm down. Amy finds herself clueless about their destination as Sam drives, but soon they arrive at a vast expanse of farmland. Settling on a wooden bench, Sam gifts her with an iron box filled with sand. Intrigued, she delicately sifts through the sand and discovers a ring nestled within. Overwhelmed with emotion, Sam expresses his deep desire for a family, and how he envisions himself as a part of Amy's. He bravely asks her to marry him. The air hangs heavy as Amy remains silent. She's confused about what to say. The following day, Amy requests Sam to accompany Lucy to her doctor's appointment. However, Lucy vehemently refuses, insisting that only her sister should accompany her, and sternly reminding Sam that he is not her father. Unfazed by the rejection, Sam firmly declares that he can still be a father figure to Lucy, because he's awaiting Amy's response to his marriage proposal. He finally drives her to see the physician. As the doctor tends to Lucy, Sam waits anxiously outside. Suddenly, he catches sight of Lucy darting out of the doctor's office and rushing towards the car. Sam quickly approaches the doctor, engaging in a brief discussion. Afterward, he joins Lucy in the car and, gazing at her intently, reveals that the doctor has unveiled her as the one causing the bruises. Concerned, Sam asks her why she hurts herself. She doesn't say anything. During their drive to the restaurant, where they plan to have dinner, Lucy implores Sam to keep this revelation hidden from Amy, as this may trigger her anxiety, to which he reluctantly agrees. At the dinner venue, Amy watches them as they enjoy their meal, share lighthearted jokes, and playfully engage with their food. However, beneath the surface, she feels a profound urge to flee and escape this situation. She longs to break free and distance herself from everyone. Amy and Sam lie in bed. It's been days since he proposed to her, and she hasn't given him any response. He had hoped it would be a quick yes, so now, he wonders why the hesitation. Sam asks her again about the decision to get married. Amy in turn requests to know what his plans are, and he says they will all stay in the house and be a family. Amy doesn't want that. She wants a life elsewhere, where she can explore alternative living. She feels stuck here, and marrying Sam would mean the same thing. She would still exist in the same way. She tells him she doesn't want that life. Sam is furious. Amy picks up his car and drives until she stops at a nearby bar. At the bar, she catches a man staring at her. When they exchange pleasantries, he offers to buy her a drink. She knows too well his intention, and he begins to talk about her spending a night with him. She doesn't want that, so she walks away. As she drives home, she realizes life with Sam and her siblings wouldn't be bad. They could be like one big family, enjoying the simplest things in life. So when she gets back home, Sam and her siblings are happy she's back. She wears her mom's old wedding gown and makes dinner for the family. It's a sign she will get married to Sam. Weeks later, they are married. Sam is friends with her siblings. They know they need to accept him to make Amy happy, and life couldn't get any better. The smiles and laughter are genuine. They may not have everything, but they have each other, and that in itself is enough.